the reality. Of course, we got very good videos in wide and big places, marketing stuff. There is one.
Tune it and change it. You learn your model, keep going for that. Then move to act on supervision. You continue to do it. I suggest change your decision. Do it convinced, yes, that's the right thing. Let's go ahead. Do not skip to
Ben, si este es tu celular, y esta es tu foto.
There's so much value in those first three stages. Don't skip them. Make sure you're working through this logically. Make sure you're giving your AI time to prove itself. Don't just run it through a human being. Got it, you. So, those are the 5 takeaways that hopefully will help you apply AI in your organisation generally. I did just want to do my sales pitch for a couple of seconds. Talk about what we're building. So Real VNC is releasing something in the next week, Agentia. It's an AI control plane for agents. Real VNC does remote access, so it gives the ability, for example, for a doctor to remote into an X-ray machine in a different hospital to check the results in real time while the patient's undergoing surgery. What we want to do is give AI ability to AI to be able to remote control planes. Right, so that sounds like pretty scary and terrifying. So that's why we built Agentia. It's, as I talked about earlier, a completely separate control plane. We never connect the AI with the end device. AI never has access to the end computer or the imaging machine. Everything goes through this Agentia control plane, and it's there to help you as an organization implement your AI agents without worrying about it skipping any of those steps, right? AI cannot do anything on the end device without it going through Agentia and getting approved by you. And whether you take Agentia from Real VNC, or whether you pick any other AI product out there, make sure you're following those 5 key steps, right? You've got to make sure that the control plane and the thinking are separate. You've got to make sure that your control policies are acting at the speed and the pace that the AI is acting at. You've got to make sure that you don't skip those steps in the middle. You go through the observation, the self-learning, and the reaction. You've got to make sure you can prove what it did and why it did. Those are the things that are going to help you hopefully implement AI in your organizations. Those are the things that are going to hopefully help you as an organization grow and lead to positive patient outcomes.
To make sure you get
the last thing I wanted to leave you with is just like, it's how I think about it. The technology, once we got to a certain point, is never going to be the difficult thing, right? It's implementing it in reality in your businesses, in your hospitals, in your organizations. That's the really difficult part of AI, is taking it from bench projects and using it personally on your phone, Claude and ChatGPT, to real business processes that are secure and reliable and repeatable and lead to positive patient outcomes. That's the really hard stuff. It's not easy. You're not going to get there straight away. You've just got to really think about it and employ those things in a really safe and controlled manner. That's it from me. We're in one of the booths over there, just past the VIP connections. If you're exploring AI at all, or you're interested in it, or anything I've spoken about today kind of hits home, feel free to come and find me and to have a chat. Always keen to talk about AI. I think Gloria's now going to ask you if you have any questions, right?
Yes, absolutely. So if we have any questions, I'm going to, we don't have, do we have mics? Perfect. Any questions? Perfect, I'll come around. Thank you. Here you go. It's on.
And what are your biggest challenges going forward?
With my challenges or AI generally?
Both.
I've been away for a week with a 2-year-old daughter at home, so I've got some challenges when I get back, that's for sure.
No, particularly with AI.
I think in terms of AI, the thing I think about a lot is, especially with the current crop of technology, we've got large language models, right? They are not perfect. And they're very, very confident in the answers they give you. They're a little bit like a con man, right? They are 100% bought into every answer they give you. And it's not always based in fact, it's not always grounded in reality. It's not always got the right reason. So it's really difficult, especially as they feel like they're getting smarter. It's really hard to pick when they're right versus when they're wrong. I think that's the biggest challenge as we move towards AI being, like I said, side of the desk project or stuff you rely on every day. It's about how do you have the right evaluation processes in place so that you can consume those responses from the AI and understand the right responses from the wrong responses. I think it's the biggest challenge for most people.
Do you have another question? Yeah.
Thank you for the excellent presentation. I think many things are going to be discovered as we move along the way with AI. I use it mostly as a sort of a plus, as a partner in my decision-making process. and as everything we need to learn. So I just want to know, do we have a track record of company who has been leading the way by implementing AI in a valuable manner so that we can use this type of information to improve our business? Thank you.
Oh, that's a great question. I think there's a lot of businesses out there that are using AI in a great way. We're doing some good stuff, but I can't really give you us as the answer, and I think that's a good thing. I have to say, I think Anthropic's doing a really good job. So, yeah.
I will say it, you're the answer. Am I, no. I said that I will say it, that you're the answer. If you can say it, I will say it.
I think Anthropic's doing a really good job. I think their focus on safety is really important as they start to build out new models and give us access to them. I think they're doing a really good job of trying to make it accessible to the wider market. I think that's an important thing to do. I think another barrier we're going to come across is a cost barrier. At the moment, most of our AI usage is pretty heavily subsidized. If any of you have had to go from like using the Claude app to using the API, the cost difference is like 5 to 7 times. And once you start to go into production, you can't use your Claude account, right? You have to use the production API key. So that cost barrier, I think, is also going to become quite a challenge for a lot of organizations. Yeah, sure.
Fantastic presentation. I think you touched on a lot of great points. In terms of governance and government regulations related to the healthcare industry and safeguard, what's your interpretation of where government needs to regulate private industries versus the freedom that private industry should have in order to advance healthcare and AI?
That's a difficult question to answer in 30 seconds or so. I'm a big fan of free market values, so I think regulation is a positive thing generally. I think the real problem we face is a lot of regulators don't understand AI in anywhere near the depth to write rules and regulations that are applicable and make sense. I'm obviously from the UK and most familiar with the AI Act that we are introducing in the UK. And while it kind of holds water at a high level, once you start to dig into the reality of it, even their banding of like how you consider somebody an AI company is so high level that anybody can pick the level of regulation they want to sit to. It really is different between party and anybody. So I think we need to have regulation. I think it needs to be a light enough touch that individuals can still innovate. But first, I want the regulators to hire people who really understand and know AI before they write the regulation. Otherwise, we're just going to end up in a bit of a hot mess that doesn't help anybody.
Thanks. Anyone?
Thank you.
Thank you, great talk. And I have a question about the Agentia. What do you call it? A dashboard or control panel. Are you using agents there too? Is it an agentic software?
No, not at all. So we do sell agents. We have something that's currently called Marvin. We're trying to think of a better name for it, which is our like computer use agent that's able to remotely control computers. The whole point of Agentia is that it's not AI at all. So large language models and the AIs that people talk about today as AI is what's called non-deterministic, right? So you can ask it the same question and twice and you're going to get 2 different answers. Because it's not actually logically thinking, it's not following a path, it's predicting the next set of words. And so Agentia doesn't have any AI in it at all, it's an entirely deterministic system. That means if you ask for permission to do the same act twice, you're always going to get the same results. In future, I think Agentia will probably have some sort of AI built into it to help us understand, for example, should this command be able to run on this machine versus should this command be able to run on that machine. But certainly for the first version, the whole point is that it's like a more traditional software deterministic process rather than something AI driven.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
How's it going? Very interesting take that you had. I'm just wondering what's the long-term plan for the company, because the way that I see is that more and more there will be more production of processes around different industries, right? And I'm quite reluctant in the decision-making process, right? And I believe there will be a need for automatization, right? And I'm just a little skeptical on how you can scale as you get more and more jobs, right? Because technically you would have, I just say more in the engineering world, right? So for instance, there is, if you sell a gas turbine, right? At some point you sell hundreds, if not thousands, right? And you cannot have a single engineer monitoring every site, right? So you have an engineer doing decision making for 30 turbines or so. Is that what the company has overall as a long-term plan, or do you guys have anything different? Because I believe, especially for AI, that scales very quickly.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for us, we see AI as definitely like additive to the humans that exist in processes today. So let me give you a manufacturing example. That's where Real VNC does a lot of its business alongside healthcare. In a manufacturing floor, you have these things called HMIs or PLCs, right? So they're control devices on a factory floor that are building something. Whether that's some of the lovely gloves you've seen here or some medical devices being created. Typically, you'll have like one operator managing 3 machines because it's difficult to scale beyond that level. Some factories more, some factories less. What I think AI gives you is the ability to do 2 things. Firstly, you can have less highly skilled operators working on those machines because the AI can bring the knowledge, right? It knows that this Siemens PLC machine operates this way. And so your operator has to have less domain knowledge in order to be safe and effective. So that's one thing. So you scale by not having to have such skilled workers in place, so you can scale sort of like laterally that way. And then the other thing that you can do is, let's take your example of having one person looking at 30 devices instead of 100 gas turbines, right? If you've got an AI that's monitoring the important data points of every single one of those gas turbines, there's no reason why an operator cannot operate across 100 gas turbines. Because instead of having to split their brain capacity across 30 devices and monitor them all, they're only having to deal with the issues that the AI is identifying. So I think that's the way that it scales. It doesn't necessarily, my opinion anyway, doesn't necessarily replace humans. It augments humans and makes them more generally effective. And that then, like, big macroeconomic trend then drives prices down as things get more effective and efficient. That's kind of my happy outcome from it all.
Thank you. So, I'm sorry,
we have to pass on. Thank you so much
No
for
worries.
this. Before I send it over to the next presenter, I just want to ask you quickly, does your company collaborate with governments that want to regulate? Have you been an advisor? Are you in any kind of role?
We haven't. I'm hoping we will do. We have some quite close collaborations with University of Cambridge. That's actually where the business was founded 24 years ago. Founded out of an AT&T labs in Cambridge University. Cambridge University is doing quite a lot of work for the UK government around AI and governance and those sorts of things. So hopefully we can find a path in there. It would be good to do that.
As I was just in Latin America last week, and in Argentina we're doing a huge effort where companies similar to yours are collaborating directly with governments so that there is that kind of cohesive path to governance.
I mean, I think that's, I touched upon this briefly earlier, but I think it's a real problem in governments generally. Let me give not to like be too mean about the UK government for a second, but if you go and look at any of the job postings, the pay in the UK for the CTO of the HMRC, which is the UK's entire tax system, is £85,000 a year, right? If you're a private sector CTO in the UK, you're going to be earning somewhere from like 150 to 300,000 pounds. So how is the government going to attract the best talent for that if they're not matching the private sector? So that's the one thing the governments have to do is get more engaged with the private sector and see that as a positive thing.
Partner with the ones that are making the money, why not?
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you again.
Thank you for your time, everybody. Enjoyed it.
A round of applause. Thank you, Anton. So now, please help me welcome to talk about a topic called Clinical AI Without Surprises, Engineering Against Hallucination, our wonderful Marina Chernik, Senior Healthcare IT and AI Consultant for ScienceSoft in Texas. She has over 14 years of experience in business, analysis, and BI consulting. She helps healthcare organizations, here you go, turn complex needs into practical digital solutions that improve efficiency and patient outcomes. Her current focus is on clinical AI,